4 Sustainable Habits to Start in 2023. How's your New Year's resolution going? If you need a bit of green inspo, here are 4 super easy habits to help the planet. Pick one, or pick 'em all. Start the new year feeling fresh and accomplished with these easy wins. The new year can bring mixed feelings. The sense of a fresh start can be liberating. Yet the yawning expanse of all we could, should, need and want to do in the new year ahead can be daunting. Here are a few simple things you can do to make you feel good about reducing harmful things and protecting our planet. 1. Wrap your leafy veggies in a damp tea towel. If food waste was a country, it would be the 3rd largest greenhouse gas emitter, behind the US and China. In New South Wales alone, households and businesses throw away as much as $10 billion of edible food each year. When food decomposes in landfill, it releases methane, a greenhouse gas that is at least 28 times more harmful than carbon dioxide. By making a few easy tweaks to the way you store food could make your veggies last longer. It will also divert waste from landfill and reduce greenhouse emissions. Guide to storing fruits and vegetables. From storing pumpkins upside down, to popping basil in a glass of water, try these tips to help reduce food waste. Who knew if you store apples with potatoes they can help prevent those knobbly sprouty bits growing on the potatoes? Or that you should separate onions and potatoes because they spoil faster together? Do you have any other hot tips to add to this list? Leafy greens like English spinach, kale, silver beet, spring onions, celery leaves, cauliflower leaves, carrot tops, radish leaves and celery leaves wrap in a clean damp tea towel and place in an airtight container or plastic bag in the fridge. Herbs such as parsley, coriander, chives, sage, rosemary, thyme. Wrap in a clean damp tea towel and place in an airtight container or plastic bag in the fridge. Mint, basil. Store in a glass of water on the kitchen bench. Citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruit. Store in fruit bowl until ripe. Then pop them in the fridge and keep them separate from vegetables and any unripe fruit. Stone fruits, peaches, plums, nectarines, and berries, pineapple, pears, tomatoes, avocado, mango. Store in fruit bowl until ripe. Then pop them in the fridge and keep them separate from vegetables and any unripe fruit. Carrots. Store unpeeled, unwashed carrots in a jar, large glass or plastic container, or sealed plastic bag, completely submerged under cold water. Replace the water whenever it becomes cloudy, about every 4 to 5 days. Celery. Remove the leaves, wrap in a clean damp tea towel and place in an airtight container or old plastic bag in the fridge. Chop the body of the celery into sections and store in a sealed container with a little bit of water. Cauliflower. Keep your cauliflower as moisture-free as possible. Wrap the whole head of cauliflower in a perforated plastic bag and put it in the crisper drawer. Placing the cauliflower stem up will help avoid condensation on the head. You can also cut the cauliflower up before storing it. Dry the florets on a paper towel before putting them in an airtight container in the fridge. Broccoli. Spritz the broccoli florets with some water from a spray bottle, then wrap the broccoli bunch loosely in a paper towel and store in the crisper drawer of the fridge. Or, loosely cover the broccoli bunch with a plastic bag. You can poke holes in the bag or keep it open to maintain freshness. Beetroot. Store in the crisper drawer of your fridge. Leave them unwashed as excess moisture can make them go bad more quickly, but chop off all but 5 centimeters of the stem. Zucchini. If you plan to cook them within a few days of purchase, the best way to store them is on the counter at room temperature. If you plan to use them more than a few days after purchase, store them in a paper bag in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. Avoid storing zucchini in a sealed plastic bag or airtight container because the lack of airflow can impact its quality. Pumpkin. Store whole pumpkins upside down in a cool, dark place. Store cut pumpkin, wrapped tightly in beeswax wraps, in the fridge. Make sure you remove the seeds first. Potatoes, onions, shallots, sweet potato. Cool, dark place. Separate potatoes from onions and shallots as they spoil faster side by side. You can store apples next to potatoes to prevent sprouting. Garlic. Store on countertop or in pantry away from moisture, heat and direct sunlight. 2. Check your electricity plan. Many people think they're buying renewable electricity, but they're not. The green plans from many providers aren't anything about getting more renewable electricity made, they're merely about buying offsets. Also, depending on the provider you're with, it's not uncommon to find you've been bumped off your green power plan from time to time. So, it's a good idea to get in the habit of checking your electricity plan once a year. To be sure you're buying accredited renewable electricity, you need to opt in for 100% green power. It's often an extra box you need to check in the sign-up process, and it's usually itemized on your bill. Learn more about accredited green power, find providers and tips for shopping around. All important link will be posted on description. 3. Choose items with recycled content. This is an important part of recycling, buying back recycled content. We're not really recycling unless we're reusing and consuming repurposed materials. These days you can find recycled content in shoes, even thongs, clothing, garbage bags, packaging and more. Keep your eyes peeled and support the brands who are going the extra mile to incorporate more recycled content into their products in clever ways. This is a big step to building a more circular economy. 4. Cook electric. If your gas stove is on its last legs, look to replace it with an electric model. This will help get polluting gas out of your home, as well as reduce greenhouse gas emissions. A review of decades of science by the Rocky Mountain Institute, Physicians for Social Responsibility, and other environmental advocacy groups, concluded gas stoves made indoor air up to 5 times dirtier than outdoor air. If you're renting, or if replacing your stove is nigh on impossible anytime soon, you can feel good about using your microwave. Compared with an electric oven, Finnish researchers calculated a microwave saves 75% of the time and 80% of the energy when cooking for one person. If you were to do only one thing, choose green power. So, what'll make the biggest impact? Fortunately, the answer to this is also the easiest action because it's something you don't need to do very often. It's making sure you're on an accredited 100% green power electricity plan. For most of us, our home energy use makes up the bulk of our emissions. By simply opting in for green power, you can drastically reduce your carbon footprint and help build more wind and solar farms in New South Wales. All important link will be posted on description.